Hey guys, so I just wanted to do a quick show and tell of some of the vintage things that I found this past weekend at a couple yard sales and a couple thrift stores. And as you could see from the thumbnail, there was an exciting find that I really wasn't expecting to come across. And then some of the other stuff is just kind of fun, maybe not super high profitable, but just fun vintage things that I came across. So let's start with one. Some of this stuff is still going to need a little bit of research, so I might not have complete information for you yet about comps and things like that, but if I do, I'm going to pop them up on the screen as we go. So let's start off with something fun that I'm really not sure how I'm going to price this. It was at a yard sale in a community sale. And I don't know if you guys recognize her, but fortunately for me, I mean, I kind of thought I knew who she was, but right on the back of the neck, she's marked Shirley Temple. Now, what's interesting about her is that she's a composition doll. That's what she's made out of, which generally when I was researching, like that's like the 30s and the 40s or so. She does have some damage like to her fingers. She does have a few cracks on her face. As you can see, her little wires need tightening up. Her head's not kind of wobbly. The vintage fabric on her dress is like too cute. So when I was looking her up, I was like actually quite surprised at the value of ones in better condition. Because you would kind of, I don't know, I just would have thought Shirley Temple, it just would have been oversaturated. But I guess because it's the composition dolls, it's earlier and there's still a demand. So I think what I'm gonna do is just throw her up for auction. I paid, I think, 50 cents for her at a yard sale. She was marked $1, but this particular sale, they decided to do half off the whole sale on the first day of their sale. There was a little discussion there. There was someone who came by who related to the person running the sale who had strong opinions about what they were doing. But the lady was like, I don't care, I just want this stuff gone, right? Okay. So community sale, they were just having fun participating and trying to get rid of some stuff. So some of the like ones in good condition with nice clothing and everything, those were in the hundreds of dollars. I went and looked at like on eBay, some of the ones they say distressed or needs TLC. You see that a lot of times in titles. And it was kind of all over. It was like $10 to $25 to whatever. So instead of picking a price, I think when it's just one of those times I'm going to run an auction. I really don't know what to ask for her. I'm not great at like determining what kind of condition would ask for what, you know, does that make sense? Like the fact that her eyes still blink really good, like does that add value? When she lays down like they close, that's what I'm saying. Will the dress have anything to do with it? I don't know enough about dolls that I think I'll just throw a price on there and just see if I get any bids. So I'll keep you posted on that. But she was a fun find. Same sale, just this, I picked up this little jar. It was 25 cents, so it was 12 and a half cents. And these are made in Belgium. If you see the lids, you guys have probably seen these around. I don't even know what I'm going to get for this or if I'm just going to end up keeping it. But the different colored ones like blues and things like that can do pretty well. And like if you have a few of them together or even a bigger size, we've sold those on Etsy before, no problem. I think it was that sale. Could have been a different one. Just a vintage wallet. It's leather. It's Princess Gardner. Oh, now I'm just seeing damage, so I don't know that I'm going to list this one. So it's probably good. I didn't pay much for it. It was full of pennies, but I'm just noticing that it's torn here where, you know, once it's snapped and you go to pull it, it got pulled a few too many times, so it's damaged. So never mind on that one. Okay, so let's talk about the fun one. I don't want to make you guys wait too long to talk about it. So you guys probably remember, or if you're in the reselling community at all, you know about the Lenox Spice Village. The excitement about that, I think it was on TikTok. It became a trend or something like that. It's very connected to cottagecore and that look. They're from I think the 90s or early 2000s. Oh, this one says 92, I think. So anyway, the spice jars look like little houses I had found 2 in recent months, and I think I sold them each like 40 something dollars a piece. People were selling the entire sets plus the racks that they go on for thousands of dollars, or thousands, I'm pretty sure. If you had like that complete set. Now, Lenox then went ahead recently and reissued it, but I think the prices might have been affected a little bit, but there was still a demand for that Spice Village. Well, what's interesting to know is something that I had picked up along the way is that other spice sets by Lenox were also doing well. They weren't doing the same level as the Spice Village, but I was walking up to this yard sale and I came upon this box and I could see spice jars in it, and then I could see the sign that said 24 spice jars, $15. And I was like, oh, I wonder what they are. And so I pulled one out, and sure enough, they are Lenox. These are the Lenox Spice Garden. Okay, so not as great as the Spice Village, but 24 jars for $15. And I started looking at what it would be to list them individually, and they sell for about $20 to $30 a piece for each jar. Now, as I'm kind of looking into this a little closer, I did see this as I was walking to my car. So one of them does have a broken lid. So I have to decide if I don't think the value of a complete one is worth me trying to hunt one down to replace it. I'd probably break even with shipping and all that. So I may just try to list this by itself for $15 or something like that and see if that works. Then the rest of them, I just see one, maybe cinnamon has a little bit of wear to the gold tone. So that might affect the price on that, but I'm gonna shoot for about $30 a piece. And if I run a sale, or I go 10% down or something like that, or take offers, we're just gonna see how that works. But not too bad for $15. And I just wanted to let you know that even if it's not Spice Village, Spice Garden is still doing okay. And then there is another one called Carousel, and it has like little horses on it, like carousel horses. And I think that one does okay as well. And they usually all have a rack or something. Like these, if I had the whole set plus the rack, I think, you could still hundreds of dollars you could get for that. But I'm hoping to clear at least $400 possibly. And then the other one I noticed I'm having an issue with that I don't know what's going on. Maybe you guys have an idea. Here's the seal on this one, ginger. And you go to put it on and it doesn't, well, let's see if it'll do it now. Okay, now it's staying. A minute ago, it would just like slowly pop right back up again. So I don't know, maybe it's not an issue. Well, you can kind of see it. It's like it doesn't sit exactly right, but that seal looks the same as like all the other seals, so I'm not quite sure. The good thing to, yeah, here it goes, it's popping up again. So one thing to note, so I might just make note of it and just charge a little less for this one. So one thing that's interesting about the spice jars is that they have like, there's a picture on here, like this lid only goes to ginger because there's pictures of ginger or the flower or something like that on there. And then inside it's also labeled ginger. So there's a specific lid for a specific canister. They're not interchangeable. Okay, so that was exciting. I was excited about that. And then at another yard sale right after it, this was like $1 at that yard sale. And I just kind of got thinking that I could just use this even for storage in my little cabinet so that they'd be easier to find as they sell. And maybe if I take these stickers off, I might even just use it to take the photos, one at a time on here. I'm not sure. I think I was going to task my son, my injured son, I was going to task him with taking all those photos and making drafts. I thought about doing a variation listing, which I still could. It's just I can't do a variation listing and cross post. And I think some of these would also sell on Etsy as well. You know, might sell on one faster than the other. So I think I'll just do them individually so that cross posting is possible. That same sale, I had a couple other fun things at that sale where I got this. She also had a Dimensions Gold kit for $2. It's not a huge money one. It's called Wreath of Seasons. It's probably $25 to $30, but for $2 and an easy peasy listing, we're gonna do that. Speaking of my son, the injured one, he's at the doctor currently right now. I don't know, I'm always making videos while he's at the doctor. But anyway, it's quieter in the house with less people. But anyway, he is doing great, and hopefully today they were doing their, like, it's been 2 weeks already. They were doing like a follow-up to see if he could take the soft cast bandage thing that he has on there, if they could replace it with just a removable brace. So he's hoping for that, just to make things a little easier, like for showering and things like that. We don't have to tape him and bag him and all that. Anywho, they are gonna check on him, and I'm sure he's doing great with it. So I am using him. What I plan on doing, he's had a few weeks to kind of rest. He's been helping me move my Ruby Lane items over that I talked about in a different video. He is doing like about 10 a day, and then I can just follow up and list those items. You know, he makes the draft, but he just copies and pastes everything over, and then I just finish it up and launch it, and it's been working really great. Some of those items from Ruby Lane are getting a larger audience on eBay or Etsy, even Poshmark, and they're selling. So that's working, and it's so much easier on my brain. The other thing I found at that sale, the Spice Jar place, was she had boxes and boxes of old books. And this one is from 1867, and it is a bound version of Home magazine. Okay, so this was just fun to me. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do. They're worth about $20, $25, because there are comps for this, but it is Arthur's Home magazine, and it's January to June of the issues of that magazine for that year. And there's all sorts of old pictures, but what I loved about it, it was a home magazine for a woman at home, right? And so there's recipes, there's different things, housekeeping and all that kind of thing. And then there's these little sections on fashions, which totally got my attention. So kind of like, you know, a Woman's Day, or I don't know, something like that. So just different illustrations of these fashions. This is actually a leg of mutton sleeve. So cool. New leg of mutton sleeve. Anyway, I don't know. This would be hard to let go. There's like some knitting and other kind of pattern type things that you could use. There's short stories. There's things for teaching your kids. I don't know. There's like illustrations. Like, there's a little bit of everything in there. So might hang on to that one for a little while. Okay, so that was fun. Those were the 3 things I got at that sale. Less than $20 for those 3 things, and so that's pretty fun. Another sale, this is the only thing I picked up at the sale. It's antique as well. Now, it is marked on the back. It has an incised mark on the back, and it does say Copeland. So that makes it Copeland and Spode. Now, Spode has a very similar kind of late 1800s design called Cairo, and it has very similar elements. It's very much this chinoiserie design. It has the same bird. It has like a different style fan. So very Asian inspired, popular at that time. I can't find this exact design on a plate, which is interesting. So I think same thing. I don't think I'm going to auction it. I think I'm just going to make up a price. But I might put Cairo ? Because Cairo even has the same pattern. But replacements.com only has like one plate for that pattern. You know, it's old. So, and the one they show is a full dinner plate. So it could just be that because this is smaller, like a bread and butter, this was the design on the bread and butter, but there's not many other examples out there. So I've done Google Lens, and the only ones that come up are that other design by Copeland called Cairo, which comes not just in blue, but brown. I think brown was a little more common. But I just, you know, I'll dig around a little bit more, but otherwise I think I'm just going to make up a price and see if somebody is interested in that, unless you guys have other ideas. Two more things. I think I'll just share, let me share these with you. This was at a thrift store, and I kind of perk up anytime I see the name, and I meant to look it up before. Speaking of pronunciations, I meant to look it up. It's just faff, right? Like, you don't say the P. You guys can let me know in the comments down below. But anything faff related for sewing, like the sewing machines can sell pretty well. I've sold some templates or whatever. So there was a bag, and like this little instruction book, I don't know, maybe $15, $20. But I also, in this bag was this book called, it's Pfaff Creative 1471. So it's got embroidery, and I probably shouldn't say sewing machine. Pfaff is probably more, it's embroidery, isn't it? Or something like that. Anyway, you can program different designs and things like that into, I don't know what the exact correct terminology is for the machine, embroidering and sewing with Pfaff Creative. So I guess you could call it a sewing machine. Anyway, so it has this book with ideas. It has the instruction book. That's what the machine looks like. It has the instruction book. And then there are some templates or cards type things. I think maybe that's the programming sheets. That's what they call them, programming sheets. So I did find a comp. I'll throw it up here. I think it was for the instruction book and the programming sheets for like $40 free shipping. And then there, you know, this was listed, sold separately. So I'm just going to put it all together and try to get, you know, $40, $50 and see what happens on that. Okay, and then maybe grab another 10 bucks out of this one. It's not in great shape, so we'll see what happens there. Okay, and then the last thing I'll share with you is this pair of earrings I picked up at a thrift store for $8. They are the brand, I don't even know how to say this, and I've never seen it before. It's, ooh, sorry, hard to see. There we go, CCORI. But fortunately it was on its card because I'm not sure that they're marked. Are they marked? But anyway, I found another one, so I know these are on the right card. But pre-Columbian art reproductions. They're made in Peru. I guess it's distributed by Cosmo International. It says the reproductions made in 18 karat gold plated. So anytime, you know, it's one of those categories of jewelry that you usually don't go wrong, like museum jewelry, museum reproduction jewelry, things from like the Museum of Modern Art, they're marked MMA. Okay, jumping in here to do a quick correction. While I'm sure the Museum of Modern Art probably does have some jewelry that they sell, I think Museum of Modern Art is MoMA, M-O-M-A. So MMA, what I was talking about, what I've come across more often is the Metropolitan Museum of Art does have like jewelry reproduction that you come across at times. You know, any of this kind of pre-Columbian, Victorian, I know those are two totally different things. I'm just saying sometimes the museum or the reproduction jewelry is from like time periods in the past. So anyway, I decided to take a chance on it for $8. The only comp I found for this particular style was the necklace and the earrings, but I think because I have the card and everything, I'm just gonna, and there is a sticker on the earrings, I think that says made in Peru. I think that was on the earring, so I don't think they've been worn. I'll shoot for 40 and then probably take offers and things like that. So I think that was worth picking up. I found one more thing, one more sale. This isn't all of it, but you know, it's not a thrifting day if I don't buy some flatware. I almost got to the end of the day thinking I'm not buying any flatware today. of the yard sales that I went to, I only went to like 3 or 4 that day. But I did find one sale had this flatware, a couple little containers like this. And so I have forks, knives, and spoons. It's Echo Eterna. Ooh, it has a name on it. Endearment, enjoyment. I don't know what it says. But anyway, it's floral. It's vintage. I'll probably just, well, I'll research and see if it's worth splitting up, or I'll just throw the whole lot together. And I paid $5 for the tray that the flatware was in. So not too bad. I found something else. So this, it's not super exciting. This was at the same place as the Shirley Temple, so it was half off, and I think 50 cents. But it's super cute. It's just a velvet clutch. You know, it looks like a change purse, but it's pretty big. And it does have a name, Ingber. That's what it looks like. It says I-N-G-B-E-R. Haven't looked it up yet. And it doesn't look like there was a place like for a chain or anything, so it was just a clutch purse, but it's velvet and it's in good shape, so I think I'll do okay on that. No idea what I'm asking. And did I show you the pencil sharpener? I did not. I tell you, the brain lately. Here's another one. $1. And you know, what's interesting is I picked this up because I recognized it as like a vintage pencil sharpener. And it was actually, I didn't get a chance to test it, but it's running. Battery compartment looked clean, so I took a chance. It's that faux wood grain that, you know, the clocks, the alarm clocks and everything that we sell, all have that. And it's made in Hong Kong. So it is like a 1980s thing, but I don't see a brand on it at all. So I don't know, maybe once it gets opened up, maybe the brand is there somewhere. Or we just list it as a vintage pencil sharpener. Mr. Pish Posh has success listing and selling things like that. So we'll see how we do. Anyway, that was my little haul that I wanted to share with you because I didn't get a chance to take any footage on the day of, but I do like doing that because I tend to get the video out faster if I just film as I go. But hope you guys are doing great, and I'll have a what sold. I'm not sure what order we're doing this in, so I'll have another video for you sometime, and I'll talk to you soon.